live.
Yes, we are. Welcome, family, to the Empower Hour. I am Al Kumar,
I am Hanifa.
and we come to you each and every Monday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we tackle impactful topics of discussion that affect our everyday lives. And we are here. We actually will have a guest joining us, Miss Mayasa. She is one busy woman. And so she's finishing up with a client. And as soon as she's done with that client, she's going to jump on. But me and Hanifa did not want too much time to lapse. So we figured we'd come on a little in advance of her getting here, just so you guys will know that the Empower Hour is still going on tonight.
Yes.
How you feeling, Hanifa?
I'm okay. It's cold tonight. If you haven't
Is
been,
it? I
yes.
have been out there.
Oh no, I stepped outside and my fingertips was like, not tonight.
Come on back home. Come on back where it's warm and cozy.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
otherwise, it's good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So I'm
Good.
excited about tonight's topic. And family, if you guys are joining us and coming on in, thank you. Welcome. Invite some folks. Definitely share the stream so we can get as much participation this evening as possible. And make sure you let us know who you are, where you are. Hit the thumbs up button for us. Tell us where you're chiming in from. I always like to be curious to know where you are in the world. You know, this whole web thing brings us together. It seems
Yes.
makes the world seem so much smaller than what it actually is. There is my sister.
Yes.
Okay. So she's coming on in a second. Looks like she's getting her video all worked out and worked up. And in the meantime, I'm going to share this stream so that other people can join us. Yeah, welcome, family. Nope.
You have an echo?
No, I had to turn my volume down. We are live. Join the discussion. Yes. My sister, my busybody sister.
I tell you, I guess this is one of those moments when you understand this is what real entrepreneurship is about. That you got a client, right? When you're supposed to be doing something else.
We make it do what it do, though, don't we?
Yes, we do. This is for sure. This is for sure.
Family, this is the lovely Mayasa Telfair.
Greetings, beautiful. How are you? Let's see if I can see y'all right here.
Where are you in the world? Because you like working from 3 continents here lately. So I don't even never know.
I am here, right here in Alexandria, Virginia. It's time for healing holistic sanctuary right now with my fertility client just walked out the door. I prayed and I said, let me log in. So
Well, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
thank you for having me. I honor and appreciate you, beautiful ladies. Give thanks. Thank you.
So the topic of our discussion this evening is a blessing in disguise, the other side of fear.
Yes.
And you, more than anybody I know, let me just say something to you though, Mayasa, live while we here with, with in the public sphere, how much I admire you and your personality. You're the type whenever I see you, you tell a child like, they go on to Disney World or you're going to take them somewhere fun and go to a pizza or something and they get so excited. It's like my spirit just jumps for joy anytime I see you. And it's just like, instantaneously.
Yes.
So and that's just a testament to how much joy you bring, not just me, but anybody who comes in contact with you. So You know, I admire you so much.
Dear thanks, Akma. I am truly a reflection of you. I said this is she is a community advocate without ceasing. You have no days off. You are always talking about what we can do to be better Africans. And I absolutely love it. I love it that you have not given up on our people. You have not turned your back on our people. You have not looked at the disparities that we suffer as a culture, and you keep pushing it. So believe me, you are my inspiration as well. You
Oh,
really are. You really are. Yes,
blessings,
definitely.
blessings. Well, we're gonna jump right in to the discussion. Hanifa, did you want to start us off at all? Okay.
Welcome, Aisha. We're happy to have you here. I hope
Give
Mayasa, is it Mayasa?
Mayasa, yes. Give thanks.
Welcome.
Thank you so much, beautiful sis. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Alkema, you can start it off, sweetie.
Okay. So here's some things I know about you, and correct me if I'm wrong. You are a hotel owner in Jamaica.
Yes.
You own a fitness and wellness center. I don't know, you might have more than one location.
Alexandria and Washington, D.C.
Okay. And you do different tours to the motherland, and among other things. So those are just a few things that I know. But what I also know is that you started off in the corporate world.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want you to take us back to that. Start us from where you started in your world in corporate.
I started in my world in corporate at a very, very young age. Because I had the influences of both my mother and my father, who were very, very different people. My father was a man who said, if you rely on anybody else to feed you but yourself, there could be a possibility that you could be hungry. And that was just as a little girl. My mom was like, girl, you better go get this job so you can buy this house and buy the. So I had the influences of two very different spirits, but yet they were very effective with, just trying to plant the seed of what they perceived to be their reality. And so I bit off of both of those realities to implement my lifestyle, basically. So I worked. I did. I went to school and I worked, and I got a really, really good job, and I was getting paid like six figures. I was in that, and it was, and I worked, but it was daunting on my spirit. I will never tell anybody that I absolutely love my job. I just did it, and I just did it, and I was like,
You say you did not love your job?
I wasn't in love with it. I just could do it. You know how you could do something well? You could do it well, so you were promoted. So I wasn't like this miserable, angry person in my job. It's just I could do it well, I could do it efficiently, and I was really pretty quick with it because it was almost easy work. It wasn't my spirit work. It wasn't my true work, and I knew that. So I just was really using it, you know what I mean, to get what I needed. And basically that was just trying to gain financial independence, get my credit, make sure I used it for what I needed it for, but I wasn't in love with it. I wasn't attached to it that way. And the women weren't nice, so it wasn't like it was this great, loving, nice environment. Like it just wasn't all that. I just was good at what I did. And I was just like, I gotta do something better. So I created my business at the same time, so the thing about it is I have a brother, his name is Rodney Carr, and he owns Eye Care Foundation in Baltimore. And we just had this conversation. So it was so crazy when you said, let's talk about it, because we just had this conversation because we both did the same thing, but we did it differently. And we both were able to acquire levels of success, or what we perceive as our own success as Black Africans. And he did it. His was basically, I'm done, I'm finished. I got to create something else different. Mine was more of a weaning process, right? Because I was getting paid. So I had to wean myself because it was fear. I remember coming to you, Akamara, like breaking down, saying, I'm so scared of what this is going to look like. Because I was prepared and didn't even realize how prepared I was. I've been preparing myself for this journey. So I was saving my money, that money from that, what they call the plantation, but we don't really call it the plantation because we have no conceptual idea what a plantation really is. But just being, I was almost just like, you committed, you only like a contract. Like I was contracted to these people exchanging time for money. And I no longer wanted to do that. And so I had to strategically place myself in a position where at any moment I kept saying, if these people decide that I'm disposable, will I be able to eat? Will I have used my craft enough to be able to survive? When I think about my people crying for this stimulus check, like, where's your craft? We are all given these ancestral gifts and we have to use them. We cannot be afraid to use. And so I started, mine was a bit by bit process. So I was building my businesses, just stacking my dollars, as they would say, because I knew that there would be this time where I would be disposable to them because I could no longer get along just to get along. I wanted to travel. I wanted to take my vacation. I only had no leave. So here I go. Give me leave without pay. They don't want that kind of level of control. They want to control you where you can't take off because you ain't got the leave to take off. No, I want to take off because I want to be off. So, for me, it was gradual, but I would take leave without pay. I was reckless. I would never say that I am a film Negro. I'm reckless. I'm not just like, oh no, I can't fall in line with it because it was going against my spirit. Yeah. And so I just said, Alkamar, I remember that first day I came to you and I was like, sis, Alkamar, walk away from this and I don't know what I'm gonna do. And you was like, do what you do now. I'm like, y'all better come on and go with me. Y'all better come on because
the other side, huh?
The blessings that came behind that I wouldn't be able to walk in. I can go to Jamaica anytime I want. I go to the mother. I go where I want to go. The blessings, the capability of what I've been offered. Just I feel like I walk into these blessings. I meet these people that are randomly divine beings who are strategically placed there for us to be like interacting. And I'm telling you, magic happens. And I can only say it's because I freed up my spirit. I'm telling you, I sit on this plane in Africa randomly, and this man starts talking to me randomly. Random. Just no accidents. There are no accidents. And the next thing you know, I find out he's a freaking vice president of the whole country. And he's like, listen, I want to build this wellness center. I was like, you want to do what? Wait, hold up. You want to do what? He was like, yes, I want to pay you to build me a wellness center. And I was like, he was like, I want you to manage it, run it. And I was like, where do I sign up for this blessing at? And it just happened. Wow. But that wasn't the first one. That was the second one. That was in Tanzania. The first one was in Jamaica. I was just there. So
yeah, let's talk about that. How did you go from just working the job day in, day out to being a hotel owner in Jamaica?
I showed up. I just showed up. And I was at this conference, and the conference had like all of these business people who were either entrepreneurs or they worked for different companies, and they were there and they were looking for different ways to do investments. And I was like, well, I'm here. I don't know what my role is. I have no idea. But at that meeting, they offered me to go to dinner with them. I went to dinner. At this dinner table, I always tell people this story. At this dinner table, I was the youngest person at this table. Everybody at this table were elders. And these elders owned some of the most major hotels in the Caribbean, not just Jamaica, but back, they were from everywhere. And I was like, I need to get in this industry. And you know what they said? If you want to get in this industry, we'll help you. So I had one company donate me all of their furniture. I had one person say that I'm going to take you down here and co-sign and put my name so you could get your TRN so you could do business over here. Like, just be, I was just like, what?
Held your hand along the whole ride.
They held my hand the whole way.
Wow.
The elders. They were elders. And so when people be disrespecting it, like, you know how much these elders, how much information and power that they really had? We don't really know because we ain't sitting down to talk to them. We don't really talk to the elders like that too much. But to sit at their feet and to be carried by them and supported by them and signing papers by them and let me take you down here and I'm going to do this for you and help you because I want to see you prosper. And the next thing you know, I was signing it, and I didn't even have to have nothing but like 2% down, $2,500, $2,500.
Wow.
And
so you said what stood out for me. You said showing up.
it showed up.
Just showing up. So there's a lot of times there'll be opportunities placed right in our path, but we don't recognize them as opportunities. So we skip them by.
We scared. We so scared. You know, we tiptoe around these opportunities because we want to know what it looks like. We want to foresee what it is, you know. But if we just, I be going in there willy-nilly, blind. I have no idea what's going to come out of this. I don't even know, and I don't even think about it. But I know what is divinely for me is for me. I believe that. I just believe it. Life is showing me that over and over and over again. And it's because I decided that I wasn't going to place my level of trust in fear.
Yeah, that's a good point. Just stepping out there without knowing. Yeah. It's like, you know, what's that saying go? Stepping over the staircase. I forget.
Yes.
Without knowing what the next step is going to look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
Yeah.
It is.
What was happening to your faith as you started to make all of these divine connections? Like you said, you're going in. Is that me echoing? Somebody's echoing? Sorry. You're just going in there willy-nilly, you know, just saying, let me go and see what this is about. You know, it's not gonna hurt. So let me just go on in. So you did that the first time you made a connect, and then it happened again. What's happening to your faith during these times with each interaction? Every time something like that happens, what's happening to your faith? Does it become easier to walk in it, or is there still like a inward conversation between you and doubt that happens?
Not anymore. I don't even have that conversation anymore. My conversation now is, we got this. You know, even when it was just me and one of my sisters, we went to the Caribbean just to get away, to take a break. And the line was wrapped around like so. And she was like, oh my God, did you see this line? I said, honey, we walk in favor. Don't you worry. And at that moment, the brother came up to us and said, y'all start the next new line. She was like, oh my God. I was like, I told you, you got to start expecting these things, girl. So that's how I kind of roll now. Like, we walk in favor. I believe that we walk in favor. I live that. Even when it doesn't look or appear like it is, it's really in divine order. It is.
Mm-hmm. So what drew you to Tanzania?
Well, I have a client that's from Tanzania, and she is one of my clients of clients, and she comes all the time. And her sister-in-law is my acupressure. So it's like family, you know. So I see her all the time, and she's like, you got to go to Tanzania. You got to go to Tanzania. And I was like, okay. She was like, so I had linked up with her sisters there. And she was like, so I was talking to them already, just, you know, working with them. And then somebody was hosting a trip. And they were like, you want to go? No, they didn't even ask me if I wanted to go. I was like, oh, y'all going? I want to pay my money. I want to go. They was like, you do? I was like, yep, I do. So that's how I actually did that. I wasn't even invited. I kind of like invited myself. I was like, I'm going. I needed that way to get there, to be able to see my sisters who I was already communicating and working with. And I was like, oh, I'm going. So that's how I got there.
Mm-hmm. And so now you are in Tanzania, you building a wellness. Is it completed?
It's almost completed. So I have 11 rooms now. And the goal is to have like a complete like sports health complex. And he wants a lot of different things. So we have like Occutechs, and he owns so many different ones in different places, Dubai, the UK. And he's like, I need these ideas. I need this fresh mind on holistic wellness to implement into these spaces. So, this is an ongoing project, and we just constantly building. So it's not going to stop for me in Tanzania. It's going to keep going. It's not going to stop in Jamaica. It's going to keep going. And that's what I believe in. I say my mantras. Mantras. I'm always playing with my mantras. I be manifesting it. I'm not playing. I'm not living in doubt. I will not live in fear. I'm not casting that energy over my body and my mind and my spirit. I just won't do it. I won't. I'm just not going to do it. So I believe that those are just places that I will have opportunities to journey. And I want to be able to take amazing people with me on the journey. I don't want to go alone.
And then, yeah, because I definitely wanted to mention that. Funny you said you want to take people with you, because I was thinking about you and your journey the other day. And I said, it seems like everything you gravitate towards centers around groups, large gatherings, large groups of people, your wellness centers, and, you do your dance classes and things like that, which is a group setting. And then you have your hotel, which is a group setting. And then, your trips, to now your trip to Africa, where you're taking groups there. So is that something that you plan that way? Or
I think it happens naturally, because I think that we live so independent, but we get so much more accomplished when we collective, and we don't lose anything. That's my mindset. We don't lose anything when we are connected with each other. Like, I lose nothing. When I uplift you and empower you, I don't lose I lose absolutely nothing. So if we can get more people involved in what really holistic and community really looks like, I just think that we'll never stop. I think that we are one of those powerful beings on this earth, honey. Let me just tell you. I think that the Black woman is an amazing divine species in spirit, and when she knows it, we manifest anything. So my goal is to always get as many people as I can to walk and live in their truth, because that's really what it's about.
Yeah. Now, how do you do that?
Put down barriers, put down like this. I always say, this is a non-judgment zone. This is a zone where we are free to be who we are. We talk about ancestral altars. We talk about, just trying to clear ourselves through meditation, through yoga, just going back to some of our natural ancestral ways of natural soaps, natural deodorants, natural we're not overly chemicalizing ourselves with all these different things, which can alter our minds and our bodies and our perception of what reality really is. So I always say, let's just go back to the basics. When we look at our elders and our grandmothers in them, they were collective people. They were collective. They did not operate on these things. They weren't talking about, oh, you copied my ideas. And these are all our ideas. These are our ancestral ideas. We all ride on the shoulders of our ancestors. So if you do it, I can do it too. It ain't gonna be the same, because we two different people. But the thing is, we can go together. Absolutely. We can go together, and we won't lose anything. We become very selfish, self-absorbed, and we got a lot of work to do. And so my goal is, if we go together, that's one less person that's going to be out trying to hurt, kill, and destroy another sister. So my goal is to take as many as I can with me, because we got to learn that the reality of it is we can do so much better together
Mhm.
when than individually. We really can.
The load of it is too heavy for any one person anyway. You know,
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I'm gonna
Yes,
go.
it is.
So yeah, that collectivism is African at its core. Individualism is not us. So just like you're saying, getting back to that, to the collective, and working together and just seeing how much could be done. All of these great things that our ancestors accomplished, they didn't accomplish it on their own. They had a full-blown support system.
Absolutely. That's right.
The
It
village.
was, yeah, the whole entire village.
That's
Um,
right.
I'm feeling you on that. I have my other question to you. Is what would you say it was in your whole journey? What stands out for you as the one thing you would say that you came up against, and it was you had to like maybe it was like a straight up warfare to get past that hump. But once you got past it, which is where you're at now, what would you say that thing was? Because I know we talk about fear, but we talk about it very vaguely. And sometimes I feel like we need to chop it up. Like, what exactly does that look like? A fear manifests as so many different things. So,
Yeah.
what
Mhm.
would you say was that one thing that comes to your mind right now that you was like, it was straight warfare? But once I got
Warfare for me was the first, what was that? The first 90 days. The first 90 days where I didn't have no paycheck. After 30 years of a paycheck every 2 weeks hitting your account, that was warfare because I was like, hold up.
Hmm.
Then I had a notification on my phone, like I didn't know when it was coming. I had a notification on my phone that would say, boop, direct deposit. And when that direct deposit wasn't hitting every 2 weeks, I was like, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. You know what I mean? I was like lighting candles. I was doing my mantras. It's like, I got this. You got this. I was really having to talk myself through it. You were born in greatness. You are ancestors. You got DNA, and I was having to talk to myself. I would never say that it was just like, oh, this easy peasy process for me, because it really was not. I have been conditioned, I have been programmed. And so I had to go through a deprogramming and a whole reconditioning. And then once that process was over, was like, what was I waiting for? What took me so long? But I know that it was in divine timing. And that's what I would tell anybody. When that time comes, you know it. Because your spirit starts to fight. Your spirit starts to resist it. What's considered your normalcy. And it's like, you know what? I can't do this no more. I was getting sick. I was like, this ain't right. Something ain't right. But so that was my biggest warfare, was those first 90 days. I was like, wow, I don't have a paycheck coming in every 2 weeks.
Mhm.
And okay, I just gotta adjust.
So it
But
wasn't, if I'm understanding you correctly, it wasn't that you didn't have the fears of that. It was that you felt those fears and you decided to keep going forward.
I kept going forward. I kept pushing. I'm telling you, I live off daily mantras. Y'all probably would think I'm crazy because I'll be sitting there in my quiet moments. I'm a 4:30 a.m. riser. And in my moments of quietness, I like my candles, and I literally say, I talk my reality. You can manifest anything. There will be nothing that will hold you back. You are born in greatness. Money will not, you could die a poor man but a rich soul. So the money is not about the money, it's about the work. You will never go poor by giving. I mean, I'm talking about, I got a whole list of mantras that I go through just every morning when my feet hit the ground. And I'm like, I will not be defeated. I will not be controlled by this system. I will not rely on anybody to feed me. I had to go through these 90 days,
Mhm.
candles lit, mantras in the morning, and I still do them. Every day when I wake up, I have to do my mantras. I do my morning yoga, my morning prayers before I start my day. Because even sometimes when my spirit was starting to get like that first 90 days, I put post-it notes up in my bathroom on the mirror. So when I'm brushing my teeth in the morning, I'm like, oh, you got this. I'm telling you, I was talking to myself. The same way I would tell one of my clients here about moving past her level of fear of whatever it is, I was telling myself that. So I am my biggest client. I'm always going to be a student to health and wellness, and I will never outgrow this process because it's a daily work that goes into it.
Yeah.
And that's what I have to do every day. Every day.
When you talk, what comes to mind is the universe responds to commitment. So when you commit yourself to it, is when the universe meets you. It's when you saying, oh, I'm not sure, I'm gonna try, or maybe I'll do that tomorrow, or possibly, or you know what I'm saying? Although I might, all those uncertainties, you're not committed. It's when you say, I am going to go to Jamaica and create this hotel, and it's going to be an absolute super success. And you know what I'm saying? When you commit to those kind of things, it's when the universe then takes your commitments and reacts to them. But the mites and the maybes and the unsure and the doubt, it's like the universe don't have nothing to work with. It's like, what we do here? I don't know what you want. Right. Okay, well, I don't know what you want, so I can't help you.
Right.
So yeah,
when I was listening, I was just like, as you were speaking, Mayasa, I'm learning a lot about manifestation just in my own quiet time, and I'm being taught in my own quiet time about it, and just things that like for example, when I'm just using scripture here, but the Bible, when it talks about, and God said, let there be light, right? And this understanding the divine in ourselves, right? Once you start to really understand the science behind our speech and what we say, right? And what it does, like your word, what you say out of your mouth starts to become a little bit more impeccable. You start to pay attention to what, because you understand that you can curse as well as bless, right? Give life as well as speak death. And once you really start to understand the seriousness of that, like how you converse, the things you talk about, right? The things that you put out there, you start to sort of like pay a little bit more attention to that. So on your days, Mayasa, where do you have days where something comes out your mouth and is like you have to catch yourself right there in the moment? Do you still go through that, or does it, like, the blessings just roll off your tongue now? Are you in that space now, or
for the most part now, I kind of just like, you know what, I'm not gonna let nobody steal my shine. I mean, I believe that we're gonna constantly be tested now, don't get me wrong. And I said I could go there from incense to a pack of Newports for real. I really but the reality is, I be like, you're not gonna rob me. I don't want to give my power away, because I really look like I believe it as a sense of power. And I believe that those tests are there in place to see, okay, you doing great, and let me see how you show up when I throw this curveball at you. And I had to say, well, you know what? I'm gonna throw some little salt and wish them some blessings on their salty asses. That's what I say, and I keep on going, because I can't give it any life. I can't give it any energy, because anything that we give energy to, we give life to.
Yeah.
And that's what the objective is to kill, steal, and destroy these spirits. And I'm on, and in those moments where I feel like it's coming, I'm like, you will not rob and steal and kill. I'm just not gonna let you do it.
Yeah.
So that's where I am a lot of times. In my space with it, I just say, you know what, I can't give it any energy, because the moment I give it energy, it might grow. And that's my area of growth. Those things that vex my spirit, that's where I need to grow at. So I'm constantly growing. So I look at it as like, okay, what do I need to do? How do I need to show up in that? I mean, it's not, you always going to have these different energies that's going to come at you, because they testing you. And I said, how am I going to show up in this test today?
I call that field work because at the end of the day, you have to go from theory to practice at some point. You
That's
can
it.
you could be in school studying those books all you want.
That's right.
I
That's
work in
right.
the social work field, and I can say sometimes the social workers, when they get in the job to do the job, it's like, whoa, you know what I mean? Because it's
Yes.
one thing to study and read, but it's another thing when you have to put that into practice. And I'm like, that is where your skills are sharpened,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
That's where you really learn is when you have to put it into practice. So that theory that you're studying, you best believe if you out here proclaiming that you believe in it, oh, you're gonna get some field work because
Oh,
now
you're gonna get some work.
practice. Yeah.
You're gonna get some work. And you're gonna a lot of times you're gonna get it when you're not even expecting it. And it's gonna show up looking just like you.
Yes.
It's not gonna show up. You know, we always got these wars with these white folks. Don't misunderstand me. We got our war with them. But the real war is the one that we can kind of heal with ourselves. That's the real war.
Mm-hmm. That's the character building war.
Ashe.
How do you, for those who may be listening to this conversation and they are, for lack of better words, stuck in a rut, and they hear you, they may be even inspired by you, but they think to themselves, that could never be me. I could never, do what advice do you give to those people who just, don't seem to know what it takes to come up out of the places where they're not happy or they're not comfortable?
I would say for them to look at their circle.
Mm.
Look at the circle that they're in and see how many people in that same rut. Because it might be time for them to remove themselves from that circle and get inside of another circle where there is more motivation, more uplifting, more encouragement. If you're around that all day, every day, you start to live that. That starts to become your reality. But if you're trying to place yourself strategically around people who are saying, you know what, we got this. We're going to go together. I'm support you. You're going to support me. We're going to eat right. We're going to start working out. We're going to start, downing each other and fight. But we're going to start doing some things different. Stuff start happening different.
Yeah.
It's inevitable.
Right.
It's just inevitable. It just happens.
Yeah, I think not feeling fulfilled leads to depression.
Yes.
It leads to a low energy existence.
It does. It does.
That's some really good advice.
But a lot of it has to do with what we put in our mind, what we put in our body, and what we put in our spirit. And so those are some of the first places we got to start. What am I feeding my mind? Am I feeding my mind, good stuff, or am I feeding my mind junk? Am I feeding my body good stuff, or am I feeding my body junk? Am I feeding my spirit good stuff, or am I feeding it junk?
Right.
It's all about us. It's nobody else that's going to do this for us. It's the work that we're going to have to do for ourselves, and the work that we do through supporting each other and being around other beautiful, magical, amazing people who understand this work, and how we can go together. And the good thing is, it's so many. When I look around, I'm like, yes, I'm telling you, like, yes, sis, go. Yeah, I look around now, we got more amazing sisters doing stuff now than we ever had.
Oh, yeah.
From young to the elders.
Yeah.
So we don't have no more excuses.
That's true.
Yeah, that's very true.
It's our time. It's our time to shine.
That I kind of been pondering about manifestation, for example, is alignment. And I'm like, when we talk about manifestation, like when I go into certain spaces, like I was listening to a conversation on Clubhouse, for example, and I think I used to be in the church. So the church starts with name it, claim it. You know what I mean? You name it, you claim it, right? And so when you get into certain spiritual spaces, we talk a lot about manifestation, and the work that you're talking about is the work of alignment. And I think that needs to really be focused on when we're talking about manifestation, because what made me think of it is what you just said, like what you put into your mind, all of this. So you can't say, I want that house. I want this house. And you figure, I'm just going to say it, and somehow this house is going to appear, right? Everything that you do has to align with what you're saying. So you can't
Absolutely.
say, I want a house, and you don't even want to put money aside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or you can say, I
Absolutely.
want a house, or you feel like your credit ain't important. Like all of these different types of things. So it could say like you say, I want to be a size whatever, but you don't want to put the Lay's potato chips down. You know what I mean?
Right.
You start questioning, do you really want that? Because manifestation is meditation. Meditation is alignment. Meditation is not just
Mhm.
here, it is all throughout the body. So
Yes,
everything
it
that we
is.
say, you have to kind of like, that's alignment. Your mental, right? Your emotional,
Mhm.
your physical, it has to all align so that you can see the manifestation of that thing. So just saying, I want it, making a declaration, that's a big part of it, but it has to align, because guess what, you're saying one thing and then you're canceling it out by what you do. You're saying
Right.
this and then you're canceling that out by what you do, because what you're doing is going against what you're saying. So
Absolutely.
when you're saying, I'm like, that's true, like it's all about what so you say, I want this type of life. Who, like you said, what circle are you around? What
Mhm.
circle are you
Mhm.
around? Mayasa just said it. You want this type of sisterhood. Then you might have to move yourself out of the gossiping clique. You know what I mean? The clique
Mhm.
always talking gloom and doom, because alignment would have it so. Alignment would have you move out of that circle and go,
Mhm.
what is it that you're looking for? So that just came
Mhm.
to my mind as you were speaking. I'm like, you're right. What do you want? Then feed yourself that so that you could manifest it.
Again, going back to them
Absolutely.
commitments, I just said the commitment of no, you know what I'm saying, is of actually moving in that direction as opposed to just saying it and sitting back. It's the
Very true.
same concept of faith without works. It's the
Yes.
That's it.
faith
True.
without works.
Yeah. And you might have to write it down.
Yeah.
I said, well, don't be afraid to write it down. Make
Yeah.
a to-do list. And
Yeah.
then you might got to write it down and rewrite it again and rewrite it again. You might got to burn the old one, flush the old one, get rid of that. But as you grow, your list grows and it changes as you change. So don't be afraid to write it down. Post up post-it notes. Start talking to yourself. Do mirror work. Look in the mirror and be like, you know what? I love these feet because they keep me going every day. I love these knees. They keep me flexible. My
Yeah.
back. We just got to start manifesting it from just everything that we do because we get stuck. We
Yeah.
become insecure. Society got us all insecure, beating up for stuff we need to do this listen, all we got to do is just be. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Absolutely.
But
That's
that,
the word.
that's too simple, Mayasa. I'm finding that for a lot of us, just being, it blows me. It's just too simple because we got everything telling us that
Yeah.
just being is not enough. And then we
Mhm.
believe it. And so we go outside ourselves. Like you said, you spend 20 years outside of yourself only to find that you should have been up inside, you should have been inside the whole time. So you go through a whole grieving process because now you annoyed. You're like, man, 20 years later, and yourself has been there the whole time.
The
But you
whole time.
whole time, Mayasa, the whole time.
And
Yeah.
it's work because you gotta go into one mindset to do this job and go into that mindset to do this job. It
Yeah.
just feels so much better just to be in one space. See, the thing about women, we versatile. We have that level of versatility, so we can do that and manage. But I'm telling you, it gets exhausting.
It
It
is.
just gotten exhausting for me. Some people they get exhausting for much quicker, and they're able to beeline much earlier than I was. But I always say, don't rely on nobody else to feed you. You
Mm.
better have a skill. You better have a craft. You better open your mojo box and you better start using your mojo because if the day your job decided you are disposable or the government say I'm not going to feed you, will you be able to feed yourself?
Well, let's talk
We,
about that. Let's talk about this developing one's natural born gifts. How do you do that? How do you do that in a world where when you are in the womb, that, you know what I'm saying, you are being conditioned to be other than your natural self. You know, so now you're out of the womb and the toys you play with, you know what I'm saying, you come in boxes that with babies that don't even look like you, the Gerber
Right.
babies, or you know
Right.
what I'm saying, now you're turning on cartoons, and you know you're not turning on no African centered cartoons, everything is yours. So you are conditioned from birth to in this incubator that is, everything that's going on is not of your natural self. And so
Right.
now somebody is saying you have to live in your purpose and follow your dreams and your God-given talents. And half the people looking around and like, what is that? What is that? I don't know what mine is.
Right.
Any
So
advice?
the only thing I do know is that we get them, and everybody has them. And sometimes people got 3 and 4 of them, particularly Geminis. Those are the most multi-talented people I ever met. And they always feel like they need to settle down into one. And I tell them all the time, you ain't got to settle into one. Do them all. And do whatever it is that makes you happy. Because whatever you decide, you're going to succeed. You know, so I know that there's different energies that we all have just based on what moon we were born under. I know that. But all I can tell you is that we're all born with it. And then, you know, in traditional cultures and in certain places in Africa, when they see that you are, say, a braider, you know, I look at my daughter was braiding hair from the womb, and I thought she was weird because she would take the doll baby head off, and she just wanted the head, and she would throw the bodies away. And I was like, something is wrong with this girl. But the reality is she was born doing hair. She was born doing it. That's what she was doing. And so once we start to cultivate what our children are born into instead of trying to make them something we want them to be,
Yeah.
it can start early. We can start implementing these gifts early because we see them. We just choose to ignore them. You can see little boys putting stuff together. We already know that these are born engineers already. But instead of them being able to be an engineer, we want to push them on them. Go play football, go play basketball. And nothing wrong with that because my daughter played basketball. But they got gifts already that we can see. We see these gifts. So if by chance your parents did not focal in on that gift, you know your gift. You know what you're good at. Whether you do it or don't do it has no bearing on anybody but yourself, but you know your gift. It's something that you can do that is exceptionally well, whether your self-esteem is low and you're not recognizing it for what it is, which happens a lot. There's some women that do amazing work and they're like, oh, it's not good enough. I'm like, what? This is beautiful. You know, I'm like, well, are you serious? So a lot of women have gifts and men. They don't even see them as a gift. They don't even recognize it as a gift when indeed, in fact, it is much more than a gift. So it's just not just having it, it's being able to recognize it for what it is. So
Yeah.
we all do have them. It's something that we do just a little bit different from the next person. That's what makes us so beautifully individual, you know?
Yeah.
It's something we can do, whether it's public speaking, whether it's knitting, it's sewing, it's dancing, I mean, we all have them. We
Yeah.
really do have them. Every one of us. We are superheroes. We are superheroes. For real. Listen, we superheroes. I done seen some of the stuff that we do, and we are magical people. And all we have to do is, some are salespeople, some can do investments, some make stuff. I mean, the level of our creativity is beyond even our own understanding.
That's real.
But if we take that one thing that we can do and tap into that, I'm
Sky's the limit.
telling you.
I agree. I agree that we do know. I agree. I think what happens specifically with women, I think what happens is that somewhere along the way, we believe that that thing wasn't enough.
Yep.
Yeah, we know. Oh, we know. We know. We're so intuitive too, as what we know.
We
It's
know.
we take that thing and we minimize it
Yep.
or trade it in for something else. But
Yep.
no, we know these things that come naturally to us. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
too, because I know for myself, I had to learn that no, and this happened. I questioned it when I was in church, and that's where I first learned it. not first learned. Well, yeah, I think that's when it was first confirmed. And I within myself, when you think, like let's say you hear voices. Not I'm not hearing voices, but let's say you hear voices, right? Since you were young. What happens to that person is that they're fine because their assumption is that everybody can hear these voices, right?
Mm-hmm.
Happens is once they find out that everybody can hear these voices, okay? Now it's like, whoa, okay, so I'm different. Okay, now what do I do with this difference? And this idea of somehow being different is a problem.
Yeah.
It's something to be frowned upon versus celebrated, because
Right.
we find that even amongst ourselves, where it's like, we can be different and still be united. That's very possible. Like
Absolutely.
unity and difference can exist in the same space. You know what I
Yes,
mean? This it
absolutely.
can't is a problem. But yes, we do know. I agree. There are things that just people could just naturally do. There are people who are born with a certain level of charisma that you and I would never have in this life.
Absolutely.
Okay, and here we are looking at them trying to emulate or copy
Mm,
their charisma,
come on.
something that comes natural to them. And we
Mm-hmm.
we straight up shape shifting, trying to act and sound and be like that person. But that is their gift. And I keep
That's
saying
right.
the things that you cannot manufacture essence. You
Yeah.
cannot emulate and manufacture essence. You are born with that thing. You and I can sell t-shirts, Mayasa, or you and I can sell jewelry, Mayasa. But
Mm-hmm.
jewelry, even if it look like my jewelry, still ain't like my jewelry because
That's
your
right.
signature is different from my signature.
Your own
That's it.
fingerprints. Your own fingerprints. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I often say that going back to your good point, Maya, about the written word, writing it down, that if we took the time just to sit with ourselves and think about nothing else and then ask the question, what things that I enjoy most doing in life? And the very first things you just write, don't even think about it. Just
Mm-hmm.
and 9.5 times out of 10, the first things that come on that paper is your talents and your gifts.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
So it's something magical about the written word, because I think that it's no longer in the ethers. You're actually making it now. It's tangibly, physically on earth. You didn't
Mm-hmm.
manifested it and created it in a physical form, so it's no longer out there. And so
Right.
now you gave it power by writing it down. So
Yeah,
power in that written word.
it is.
Question: what keeps you so grounded? You're always so humble, and no airs about you. And
I don't know. I think it's just family, good sisters like you, good sisters like you. Um, my grandparents, I feel like I have a responsibility, you know, to uphold character and integrity of my grandparents. My grandparents were huge influencers over my life. They were married over 75 years. And just watching them and the way that they loved each other and the way that they were very nice and kind and gentle people. And I just loved the way that they loved. And I think that when I just reflect back on to them, and, me and my mom, we were like, oh, that's your grandmother, we talk about those things all the time. And, my mom helps. She's a big component with helping me to stay grounded. My father transitioned. But when my father was living, my father was a Muslim man, honey. And let me just tell you, I was his only daughter and he just did not play. So I believe that my ancestors are constantly holding me accountable. And at some point, I'm gonna have to see them again. And I'm gonna have to answer for certain behaviors. And I don't want to have to stand before them like, what happened was So a lot of, I think for me, that keeps me grounded is my ancestors are just, they keep me grounded. I have my altars up, and it helps me to know, I think about what they would do. How would they handle it? How would my grandmother handle a certain situation? Or, what my grandfather say, or my uncles? I come from a huge family of husbands and wives, and just being able to balance from the masculine and the feminine, and like, okay, I have to be able to walk in the same type of integrity that they walked in. And so that's what helps to kind of keep me grounded. That's my main focus, is my ancestors. I can't say nobody else but them.
Yeah. What does your name mean?
A tall woman that walks with pride.
Mm.
Can,
Yes.
can you, if for those that are listening, before we leave out, can you give some encouraging words to possibly someone that may just be struggling on this point in their journey? Not maybe they at sorry, sorry, maybe they're at a crossroad and they're like, just trying to figure it out. What encouraging word would you give to them?
Would give someone the encouraging word about self-love. Defining self-love for yourself, putting yourself first. You cannot pour from an empty cup. If that means taking walks, doing massages on yourself, that means sitting to read a book, whatever it is that you can do for you, that allows you to focus on yourself. And when we start to focus on ourselves and remove the external entities that are around us, we really can look at ourselves. It's hard for us to see ourselves when we have a lot going on, and we're trying to give, and we're people pleasing, and we unhappy. But take some time to just self-love, sitting in quiet, reading a book, just being with yourself, taking a break from your everyday routine that you normally do. That allows us to slow down just a moment to see exactly where we are and what goals we want to set for us to continue our life journey. So that would be what I would say, just, and know that you're not alone. Sometimes we can feel like we're on the island. We're not alone. We all have our struggles. We all have these obstacles. It's just how we see them and how we view them.
Yeah.
And so I would just say that, know that we together. you know, we ain't gonna lose it. Nobody on this journey of sisterhood, as long as we are committed to it and just committing ourselves to be each other's keepers, to hold each other accountable and have integrity. I think we'll do better. We'll be better. And knowing that process of self-love is essential.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, great work. Tell the people where they can find you if they wanted to join any of your, and tell them what you do. I don't even think we went. We just jump right in.
So I do quite a few different things. I'm a holistic wellness consultant. I do yoni steaming, fertility, and postpartum. I am a midwife and a birth doula. I am a belly dance instructor. I am a comedic yoga instructor. I enjoy massage as well as acupressure. I am actually a safety gun trainer as well for self-defense for women. And I am a lover of life.
Poor guy. Poor guy. Tell them about. Oh, I'm sorry. Keep going with where they can get those. Where can they get those instructions?
Yes. So I have a lot of things here. It's Time for Healing Holistic Sanctuary, and my website is itstimeforhealing.com. And on there, it gives a list of the different locations and different services we have. I am located mainly in Alexandria, Virginia. It's a wellness sanctuary. I'm actually here right now because I had a client. And here we do a lot of wellness consultations, acupressure. Yoni steam is my life. That is my plant medicine, herbalicious journey. That is one of the things that I do absolutely well is I take your health. We do an assessment of what you need to ensure that your body is in the optimum physical, spiritual space that you need it to be in for your own self-care. So I focus on self-care from a divine holistic experience. And I take you on that journey with me when we travel to the motherland or to Jamaica. Sometimes it's a good change of scenery sometimes. You know, it's hard to kind of commit when you're here and you have the children and the dog and the family. So getting away to revitalize yourself and your spirit is sometimes it's really good for you, you know. And so that's what I do. And I offer a lot of different things to the women in the domestic violence shelters. So we collaborate to do things to support our communities as well. And so that's really my life. That's like my life assignment, I call it.
Yeah. Did you want to talk about the trip to Tanzania at all?
The trip to Tanzania is amazing. So I released it, I think last week, and then January the 10th was the first day for the deposits. And today I just confirmed the last 22 seats.
Great. Oh, Mayasa.
Alvaro, I've been trying to hold you this seat.
No, I'm going. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it.
Let me sit there.
No, we're gonna have to talk on air.
I'll come on, speak it.
Yeah,
Speak it.
I'm going on that trip.
Put it in your mantra. Put it in your mantra, Alchema.
So I have 22 amazing souls who have committed to go to Tanzania, and they did, and this was within 1 week, and we are moving out of these boxes and we are moving into circles. You know, they have no beginning and no end. And as much as we think that people are stuck and that this is a pandemic, and now everybody is not feeling it the same way.
Right.
Some of us are saving and evolving, and they're ready to get up out of here and take these journeys to the motherland. And one of the sisters today, actually, she told me you gave her the information. She works at Everlasting Life, and I had a person to cancel. As soon as that sister canceled, she called, and I was like, and she was like, "Oh, come on, give this to me." She works there at Everlasting Life.
Oh,
she
boy.
She does assistant.
Right. It's gonna be another person cancel.
Yes. And I was like, oh my God. And she was like, this was for me. I'm gonna just kiss this ground. And just to see people excited to go back, it's amazing. Just to see people enthusiastic and just willing. You know, they've taken these ideas of what Africa looks like from the television and from what we have been told, and like, why do I need to go back to? I want to go. I'm ready. When, you know, and so I'm excited about it. I am excited. I am so excited.
Yeah,
I'm really excited about it. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we have run out of time.
Yes.
That is the powerhouse herself, Mayasa Telfair. Somebody was on, asked, is she from DC? Yes. He says, I don't know, I can't pronounce this. Ifan Tumis. And forgive me if I'm mispronouncing. She says, she from DC. I believe I've been to her for services before, if this is her. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm
Well,
sure.
I mean, I have a wellness center there in DC Southeast, so it's possible. So I'm out here in Virginia because you know I live out here in Virginia, so it's closer for me to go here than it is to DC. So I'm generally out here on this end, because you know you get too old to be running back and forth, and then you get options. You know, before you got to do it because you don't have no choice, but when you start to grow, you do what you want to do.
Okay. Right there. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you, Alkamar.
Your aura is just be on fire. Just so.
Thank you. I honor and appreciate you, beautiful souls. I really do. I love what y'all do Please continue to do it and share. We need it. We need it.
Thank you. We appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
And
Give
all the
thanks.
ones who tune in each week and share these live streams that we do each week. We appreciate you guys. So until next time, take care of each other, family. Peace.
Peace and love.
See.